Let me take the mute off, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, you can do that. Too. Yeah.
Who do we have online?
Oh, hold on. It's Kurt.
Oh, Kurt,
Bob Shabelsky's on.
Bob Shabelsky's on?
Yes.
That I heard?
Yes.
All right, well, we should be having...
Michael coming, I think, right?
Yeah, Michael should be coming and Doug should be coming. Dave is the one that cannot come.
Yeah. Is that gonna be on Zoom?
No, he said he wasn't going to be. Yes, I could probably do it. I wonder if I can do this. I bet you I can do it and look at me, can't I? I'm gonna unmute it here. There we go. Sorry about that. Not gonna help. And with that, we are gonna leave. I just wanted to see the participants, but I guess that's not going. I just figured maybe I could see it this way. It'd be easier, but I'm incorrect. We'll have to take that up with Apple, right? We just need one more here. There's a door. Okay. I'm gonna start a whole new expandable, Bob. See that?
It's the season.
It's the season.
New year.
I gotta tell you, this is the first year ever where I have not wanted to miswrite the date on anything. I've never want to write 2020 again in my life. I haven't miswritten a check, a signing on a pleading, nothing. I've written nothing.
I've done a couple times.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well, you're older than I am.
Very much so. Should be class of 1A, or category 1A is where it should be. You're not even 1C yet.
Here comes Michael.
Oh, Michael. Hi, guys.
Michael. ¿Cómo estás?
Yeah. Shoveling.
Let's see how we'll come out there. All right. So we have Kurt who's online, right?
Yep.
Gotcha. All right, so there are 4 of us, which means we can get started here. Now I'm the one who lost my agenda. There it is. All right. Ready for me to get started, Michael? Okay. Let's call the January 14, 2021 meeting of the Planning Commission to order for the great and glorious Township of Smithfield. Start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, this is our first meeting for the new year, and since it is a new year, we've all been reappointed here to the Planning Commission. We need to, I think first, well, let's check the members present here. We have Kurt Wickman, Michael Albert, Robert Moses, and me. All right, Dave Strunk had said he was not going to come. I thought Doug was going to be here, but something must be up, so we'll see if he gets here later. We'll look over the minutes, and we'll approve these first. We have 2 sets of minutes, because we had 2 meetings last month. December 2nd, 2020, and December 10, 2020. I looked them over there. They look perfect to me, to be honest with you. I mean, they look great. I would say, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes. I'll do them in 2 parts. The minutes of the special meeting on December 2nd, 2020. Okay. Moses second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Kurt, you too?
Yep.
Okay, let's speak. I can't see you, Kurt, because we do not have the projector behind me. It's only on the laptop here because the bulb is burned out. So just make sure you speak up, okay?
All right.
Thanks. And then we have the December 10th, 2020 meeting. That was our regular monthly meeting. Again, I'll make a motion that we approve these minutes. I looked through them. They look good to me. I'll second. Okay. Michael Albert seconds. All in favor?
Yep.
Aye. Okay, aye. All right, those being done. Reorganization. This is our first meeting of the year, so we do have to reorganize. A couple pieces of housekeeping business. We have nominations. Excuse me. We have nominations here for offices on this board. Me as chairman, Robert Moses as vice chair, Michael Albert secretary, and recording secretary Lois Turr.
Or Ron.
Well, she gets out the agenda. That's okay. Whichever. We'll do it this way. It's all right. Anybody want to be chairman other than me? Crap, that's me. All right, we're good. All right. Anybody have anything to say on any of these positions?
Nope.
No? All right, well then I'll make a motion that the slate of officers as presented here be accepted and made the offices of this of the Planning Commission.
Second.
Michael seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. I'd say congratulations all, but Doug Olmsted is here, so I'm going to reserve that. All right. Next order of business. For the last year, we've been a little more than a year. We have been doing our regular meetings on the second Thursday of the month, and if need be, a work session on the last Thursday of the month, both at 7 p.m. I'll make a motion that we keep this meeting schedule going forward. Okay. Seconded by Michael Albert. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, that will be our scheduled sets of meetings. Now, plans upon which to act. I don't think we have any comments on the agenda, right? Okay. Plans to act upon. SR squared. Let me get that one over here. This is the part on Business 209, Milford Road, whatever we're calling it now. All right, John, there's a letter here from you from the 13th
Yes.
of January.
The letter went out on the 13th, which I guess was yesterday, as a result of this letter going out, which only had minor comments.
Yeah, I thought we were pretty good on this last time.
We went back and forth, I think, 2 times, both today with, Frank Smith's office. I think we've got everything cleaned up, so if it's your pleasure, I think you could recommend approval.
Okay. Because I remember last time we went through a number of,
He was almost all there.
yeah, it was almost all there. They were just, let me get my,
I'll make a motion to recommend you, approve our squared preliminary final. This motion is without any conditions? We have.
we took care of them.
Before they met, John? They met the comments in my letter. Now, my letter does say that they have to set monuments, so I think it's always wise to make the motion conditioned on satisfying all the comments in my letter.
What about satisfying, yeah, that's good.
So moved. January 13th. And, before you get a second, but don't vote on that yet, just humor me here so I can go through my approval form and.
Oh, yes, go through, yeah, okay.
Okay. Now I can just tell me, all right, John, I'm going through here, planning module approval or exemption. We don't need anything?
No.
All right, any certification from the Smithfield Township Sewer Authority or Broadhead Creek Regional? Monroe County Planning Commission review. We did get a review from them. Okay, Monroe County Conservation District review or approval. Don't need one.
No, I don't need that.
Any soil or sedimentation plans or other stormwater management plans? No. PennDOT or township, driveway permit? Compliance with conditions set forth in township engineer's letter of, it would be yesterday. That's the condition. Yeah, let's make that a condition. Make that a condition.
That's the condition.
Okay. $21. Okay. Deed dedication for streets or unification merger deeds of any type. Not needed. And an easement for right-of-way along any road or other. No. Any improvements agreement or maintenance agreement. Recreation park and open space fees in lieu for any number of lots. Monuments, pins, markers to be set in the field and certified in writing by applicant's engineer. Yes, that's required for the comments in my letter. Okay.
One thing about that, note we got,
Correct.
we already have them at the property line. It would be okay to add other monuments.
Right,
On the road widening easement.
right.
Thanks.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that when we were looking at it, just on a flat piece of paper.
It'd be like, you know.
We can work that out. I don't think you need waivers. I think we can work that out.
Okay.
All right, and speaking of waivers here, I believe they had made a request for 3 Salvo waivers.
Yeah.
I don't know if the commission has acted upon those or not, but if they have not, they should. And then that should also be a condition if those waivers are granted.
Didn't we do waivers last time,
I thought we had, but I could be.
Let me Cavalta. Yeah,
Yeah, let's see what the minutes say.
because that's the water gap one. No, we don't want to go there. I thought we did too, Michael, didn't we? So?
But maybe we didn't actually make it as a motion, right? See, at the bottom, it's talking about Salvo waivers. recommending approval. The first paragraph, page 2. Paragraph at the top? Yeah.
That's Manofsky.
Manofsky, that's what I'm.
That's the other plan.
I'm sorry. That's okay. Yeah, see, it was tabled the last time because Frank was putting in a new plan. I don't know if it was, we were looked at, going back yet.
That might be what we were thinking.
Maybe I'm getting confused about.
That might be the other one we were thinking about. Okay, so we probably do have to do waivers. Hold on.
There's only 3 of them. They're really not that complicated, so, I mean, to be safe, we should do them, I think.
Doing fine.
Well, 4 now that you've added that other one.
And that's on your letter revised as of today.
Number 12.
I'm looking for him. Where is it, 12?
Frank's letter?
And, we should have James' letter.
Frank submitted a waiver request letter, which you should have in your packet, dated today.
Oh, I didn't see that. That's why.
December 7, and it'll say revised January 14.
There it is.
And there was revised because there were 3 waiver requests earlier, and now this 4th one was just added. I don't think we've acted on them, but if we have, I apologize, but I think if we spend 5 minutes, we'll get through them. It's not that complicated.
Okay. So the first one here is in number 12 in both the Frank Smith letter and John Tesla's letter, which is a waiver requested for the 200 feet isolation distances dealing with on-site wells, since this property is intended to be served by central sewer. I make a motion that we grant that waiver. All in favor?
Aye.
Number 13. So number 13 is a request for a waiver of the wetland delineation, because there's not going to be anything anywhere near the
Right.
wetland
Well,
delineation.
there's no construction being
No construction near it.
And we have a note on the plan that says that if construction were to move forward, then they have to delineate.
Then they have to delineate.
Yeah, on the 1 page.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we grant the waiver, of the wetlands delineation, as, stated here in number 13 on the Frank Smith and the Boucher and James letter of January 14th.
1 second.
Looking at by Michael Albert, all in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, looks like there's a waiver for, 14?
There's an easement across the property. It's existing, it provides access to, property in the rear. We said we should have meets and bounds.
Excuse me.
We asked if they put the meets and bounds on for the easement, and their reply was that the easement is not described by meets and bounds, other than to say it is the same as now laid out and used upon the grounds. So what they're saying is, what you see is what you get. So they're asking for a waiver from regarding meets and bounds. I don't have a problem with it.
Why didn't you measure out the roadway then when you did the map?
We just done a lot.
Who's the easement in favor of?
It went back to the Savage. The Millers also have the right.
Does anyone use it?
Savage uses it on cases.
You did identify it by meets and bounds, center line? You did locate it?
Located it.
It wouldn't be that hard to identify the center line, would it? Up to the planning commission,
I think the center line should be drawn.
There is a waiver on condition that the
Yeah, in fact, I'll make the motion that we grant the waiver on condition that the map is revised to show the center line of that existing roadway.
You want me to bounce on that center line as well, or is it just a little?
no, the meets and bounds.
Well, let's do the meets and bounds.
So it can be reestablished if necessary.
20 years ago, I had a case in the West End that dealt with an old roadway, and this is a problem, and it ended up in bullets being fired at a bulldozer. So let's put meets and bounds on.
Okay.
And I'm not kidding. I've actually been, that happened.
I second your motion.
Thank you. It's without the bullets. Yeah, all right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, now,
The last one's number 14.
14, that's the one.
Tell us what you think on that one, John.
Yeah, John, why don't you?
I would like to work it out once I look at it with her. The ordinance says that you've got to put them in at every angle point and change along the road. Well, that would be impractical on this particular property because the angle points, they're numerous, and it would be a waste of time and money.
Okay.
So the intent of the ordinance is to have enough permanent control out there so that a competent surveyor could go out, find the property, and resurvey it if necessary. So I will make sure between now and the time the board approves it that we've got appropriate monumentation. We've already gone through this once and have quite a bit on there.
Okay.
I said put it along Airport Road. Allison is saying, well, it's way up there on the top of a steep bank.
Yeah.
What purpose does it serve? So I'm gonna take a look at that.
Is there like a minimum number you want, like a minimum of 8 or something? I don't know, I'm just talking.
We've already got more than that on here. I want 2 along Airport Road. Do you have 2 there?
I have on both property lines.
That should be sufficient then. That'll work.
Okay.
So you could grant this waiver, as long as you've got 2 on Airport Road, so that they could tie between them.
Just in case, make that a condition again.
Of what?
Approve so long as they have 2 points along,
Okay.
or along, they have 2
Yeah.
points along Airport Road.
There's Michael's motion.
So moved.
Okay.
That we grant the waiver conditional on the fact that there are 2, Airport Road.
I'll second
2
that.
monuments to be said.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Kurt, you too?
Yep.
Thanks. All right.
All right, so then I have here, because I'm gonna ask this young lady to sign this
Yep.
form, like we normally do, that the conditions are compliance with your review letter of January 13th, monuments, pins, markers to be set in the field, certified in writing by applicant's engineer, Salvo waivers to be noted on the plan, plan to be signed, plan to be noted.
Correct.
Anything else? If that sounds good, young lady, I'm gonna ask you to sign this for me, please, and I'll give you a copy. And it would be good if I put the name of the plan at the top, huh? That's our squares.
This is 1 or 2 sheet. We just heard today, that if you don't have signatures on the cover sheet, you have to have signatures on all 3 sheets.
I'm on the,
Okay, if
you
you've
want
got,
me to add them to all
no,
3? I can.
no, I'm only telling you what I heard from the recorder's office, which Robert heard it too. It makes no sense to me.
On every sheet,
Somebody.
so what if you have a 22-page sheet document, you gotta sign every page?
What I was told was they want signatures on the cover sheet. If you then record the cover sheet with signatures on it, then I guess you can pick and choose what sheets you want to add. If you don't put signatures on the cover sheet, then you must put signatures on every sheet and record every sheet, which makes no sense to me, but that's what the message was relayed.
Sign
Thank
this
you.
for me, kid, I'm gonna go make a copy of it for you then, before you. Yeah, I think we should challenge that. We're gonna challenge. They're gonna challenge it all you want, well, you know, we're not taking it. Ask the reason for it. If the judge would be helpful, yeah, I would be on board with you there, but I see sometimes those judges being filled with the milk of human kindness.
Why don't you ask the recorder why, and then she'll ask the solicitor.
She'll ask the solicitor, do you know who the recorder solicitor is? You.
It's me.
Is it you? Well, here you go. Well, then you can tell us why.
I don't know why, I didn't know this was a problem until just now. I've been the solicitor and recorder registrar wills for 5 years, 6 years. You should ask that guy. I heard he's a horse's ass. Didn't know anything. I'm not entirely sure if it has to do somehow with scanning and paginating, which it might, I'm not sure. But ask, have them ask Josephine, whatever. It'll generate an email to me, and then I'll talk to her about it.
And then you say, I don't know why. Why did you do that?
We actually have very few problems anymore. We've eliminated most of the recording problems years ago. Well, they come up. They come up, but, you know.
Except the size of the land. Now, since we have the chair here, so, Mr. Chair, do we need to have the applicant come in when this matter is before the supervisors for vote? Or based upon what was talked about tonight, this being relatively minor, that they don't need to be?
So minor, and, you know, I think these proceedings will have the minutes. I don't see any reason why you should. If you'd like to, you could come by Zoom, but you don't need to.
Okay, I just wanted, so they know, because I'm not sure when it will be on the meeting agenda, because, you know, there's other stuff cooking right now.
There's a couple of these subdivisions, and, you know, I can see what the load is for the 26th.
It shouldn't take very long, but.
Yeah, I mean, probably 2 minutes for.
You do those Salvo Waivers, and then the, yes. All right. And now, Mr. Chair of the Commission, that's done.
No, we have one more, don't we?
One-stop shopping.
We have one more item.
That plan is done.
That plan's done, yeah. Yeah, we got another.
Now we have the.
Yep.
Be careful going out there. You okay walking out by yourself?
Yeah.
All right. We haven't seen this yet, have we?
No. So what I think we should do, since this is new and it looks like, John has his first review letter here, January 8th, 2021, but we haven't seen this. It looks like it's gonna need a full review, right?
I gave it a review, but we still haven't accepted it yet, so I gave you both a combination acceptance, it's in your hand, same letter, acceptance, and I gave them the review at the same time.
You haven't had a review by planning commission.
No, we haven't.
Monroe County.
Monroe County doesn't look like it's here, right?
Right.
Yeah. The time on this runs on March 2, so you've got some time on it.
Okay, no,
Well, it shouldn't run until starting from tonight.
no, because we didn't accept, we
We haven't accepted it yet.
Assuming you accept it, but.
yeah, well, you accepting it?
But it was filed on November 30, remember? Once it's filed November 30, the ticker starts running within
30 days.
30
Yes,
days after
you're right.
December 2. That was the next planning commission meeting after November 30. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm running the ticker from December 2 to be safe. So
November 2 is a special meeting.
Special meeting, and 10th was a
Tenth.
regular. If you do the 10th, okay, but either way, you're around in March, so you're okay with this, I mean, you're only January.
Nobody's here, though. Nobody's here for this?
I didn't even know this plan was filed.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Until last week, when Lois said, oh, yeah, they came in on November 10, took the money and took the plan on November 30, like, you know. Can't we have some kind of system where we know when plans are coming in or not coming in? I just have another deemed approval on my desk today from Jeff Durney on a 5G tower.
And the Monroe County Planning Commission responded on the 18th of December, we have that.
But I don't think it was on this one, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It's
that's
tucked
right.
further
That's the one
down.
that did come in on this one, right. That's what got me to make a phone call, like, who is this?
Then John's is January 8th.
All right. Either way.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We have time.
Yes.
This one, I make a motion that we table it to the February meeting. That'll be February,
President's Day?
no, I don't think so. Well, let me look.
It's the second Thursday, right?
It would be
Got 11.
11. President's Day is the next, is that? Okay, so it's right before that. Okay? So we'll table it to the 11th of February.
We're gonna need.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. This is up there, this is right between us. This is right between us. This is Music Center Drive and Franklin Hill Road.
I don't know them, but, you know, I think that the one gentleman, Mr. Jones, is supposed to, he overpaid his application to, come back and he's called repeatedly because the funds are back. He would have it here today, and he showed up, but.
Cause this backs up, I think this piece backs up against either the swamp or that pond, doesn't it?
Wetland, there's a lot of wetlands there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of wetlands, that was one of our comments, and it's a zoning comment.
There's a 30-acre peat bog in there, but I don't think it touches it. That's on the dog leg of Franklin Hill Road. This one is right next to, Joe and Nancy Shikite is right next to their piece. Okay, that's what they're doing. Yeah, that's what this one is. Right next to the Shikite one, okay.
They're just making a sort of a land swap.
It looks like it's a land swap. Yeah, there it is, edge of pond, right, there it is, yeah.
Well, your comments all seem reasonable, I don't see anything that. So we haven't got, you gave this, you sent it to them on the 8th?
Yeah.
We haven't heard any response?
All right.
Not yet.
Well, I think until we hear a response on the comments, we table.
I think we tabled to February 11th, Michael?
Yeah, 'cause there's a lot of comments here that just need to be.
Then someone will tell them to show up, maybe?
They're not huge, but.
But they need to be dealt with.
It's housekeeping. Yeah.
We have to deal with it.
Right.
Okay, then I'll make that motion that we table it to February 11th. I think Michael seconded it, right?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
One second.
Aye.
All right.
Our conversation now?
Had the fun conversation about the ED zone corridor. All right, go ahead, Robert.
I explained in what I sent you in
Yeah.
the draft. Hopefully we'll take this up next meeting. But, I'm really looking for feedback and ideas here, based on what I sent out. So, any response, anybody ready for this?
There's two elements I think we should.
Go ahead.
Talk about. One is the map, and the other one is the technical corrections.
Okay.
Can we start with technical corrections?
You like?
Let's talk about the map first.
I think
I think for Michael, this is very relevant.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And, I guess, two questions. Why not the north side of River Road, or I guess it's, west side?
Most of that is the PRD, and,
But so are the south.
well, the parts of the PRD in the south are white, they're not included in this. What we can do on the south, because of the way Kirkwood's, put the PRD in, is can draw a line that's contiguous, so you're not spot zoning. So that takes care of that side of the road. The other side of the road is, it's mainly PRD, and some, I think, private residences, which you couldn't bring in anyway. There's nothing there, so it's steep slope most of it.
Yeah, it's steep slope from Smithfield School up. The only thing I have an issue with is the Chamberlain canoe part. I would cut it off there because there are residents below it.
Which one?
The last two little pieces here next to Smithfield School. Those I would actually exclude. They're already existing non-conforming use.
Well, they're already commercial.
I know.
That's one that Mark has been adamant about.
I know, he's been screaming about it forever, but he bought the,
Because you can't rent them.
yeah, 'cause he bought the non-conforming use, but the houses are right below it and right next to it, and I actually do have a problem with that.
But if the houses are remain in R1, including the house he owns. But
Yeah, I know they remain in R1, and so is this thing, so if it ever stops being commercial, it's also R.
well, I'm not understanding. In other words, the new factory,
Yeah.
the new rental and the warehouse next door are commercial. But we're not having the commercial.
Right, but if he stops using them as commercial, it's abandoned, it reverts to R1, which is what the rest of those people around there are expecting. That's why that roadway is a good delineation.
I've never heard anything from the people around there, so I don't know. In other words, the only residents are past the house that he owns, so that he's really the buffer for all those people.
Not behind, not the one that goes down to the mill.
Okay, the one that goes down,
The one that goes down to the mill is also the edge of Smithfield Elementary School. That's the edge I would leave. I would not add the two little canoe pieces there, because right next to it and down, there are houses.
Just because I'm, you're talking about
Right here.
9597 and 9521?
Yes.
my feeling is, how can you leave them out when there's still the non-conforming use on the other side of the road?
Because non-conforming uses can be lost after disuse.
They are used now as commercial property.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the present. I'm talking about you stop renting canoes, the place sits empty for a year, the non-conforming use is lost, and it's back to R1, which is right next to where the houses are as it is. Yes.
But it would still be back to R1, wouldn't it, if it was used as a use of the ED zone that's permitted?
Well,
What's the difference?
no. The difference is that non-conforming uses are limited either in scope of expansion, changes of use.
But I don't even know if there was ever a non-conforming use granted for those areas.
It has to be granted, that's the it has to be granted, the nature of non-conforming is that they just.
The non-conformance exists.
You're saying it doesn't conform because there's R1 around it?
It doesn't conform because it's R1 as it is, with something else that would not now normally be permitted in there. That's the non-conformance.
This is the reason we want to change it.
No, I don't want to change it.
Don't know. Do you know the people that live next door? I don't even know who they are.
I don't, I just know that those houses have been there for as long as I can recall, from when I was a boy going to Smithfield Elementary School.
That has the commercial use.
They have, and it's been, Jim Chamberlain's been dead for 40 years, and he ran the canoe shop there when I was in elementary school.
The mill, was it not, or?
No, it was a printing place.
That's
It
what
was, the Four Maples Press.
Four Maples, yeah. Right.
Right.
But it's sort of, I sort of see the River Road section as commercial, and then behind River Road as residential.
But that's not what's there. I mean, the houses are there, they're in R1s. To me, the natural break is the Old Mill Road, what is it called?
I know that's not what's there, but I think one of the things that Robert did from the beginning, this was zoned after businesses were already in place.
No, yeah, I know that.
You could say the same thing for the properties on the other side. Behind them, it's R1. It's commercial for, I don't know how long, but long before we had zoning, I'm sure.
I mean, one of my thoughts on this too was, the whole idea of the ED was 209. So I'm not sure, like, why don't we have it contiguous by coming up the south side of Buttermilk Falls, up here, who's that section?
Going up toward the Gem Keystone.
No, I mean, down Buttermilk Falls, down 209, then becomes contiguous, like do that whole north side from,
Only because most of it is PRD.
PRD is an overlay, so you can actually, I wanted to ask Ron that.
Yeah.
Ron,
We could do that.
Ron, PRD is an overlay, correct?
PRD is a separate zoning strata.
It's not an overlay, there's a separate section under the zoning ordinance
Yeah.
for.
But it's not a separate zone.
It is, it's a separate entity.
Not even a zone. Its own village.
It's its own world.
It's not a separate zone, but it is a separate entity.
But are
Like doing a mixed-use development, if you will, there's specific, laws for that. It's not necessarily an overlay, but
I'm aware that the PRD has statements in it that say, that our ordinances have nothing to do, or are applicable in the PRD. Are you allowed to change underlying zone under a
I don't
PRD
think
in
you
order to
can.
maintain a continuity?
I think you can, I think that's the whole point behind those provisions that say that township zoning ordinances will not affect this PRD.
That's right.
Once you put it in, this PRD is autonomous and stands on its own, I think. Now, I have never done significant research in that regard, but that's my recollection of how that works.
Mine too.
Well, because
All right, well then, if Scott says,
I'm curious about that because I'm not saying that by putting EE under it, it wouldn't affect anything in the PRD. I'm saying it wouldn't do anything, but it enables you to have your
oh, no, I agree, for continuity, for making it make sense and make it work, okay, but I don't think the state
and also avoid spot
wants
zoning.
that to happen. Don't ask me why, but I think that's the way they wrote that law.
Look, to answer your question, there's no reason why we couldn't do it if we can do it, but I don't know. Yeah, I would love to include, Shawnee Square.
Well, I know it wouldn't be relevant. So what I'm saying is, by having a BDD, it doesn't change anything with Shawnee Square, because Shawnee Square is in the PRD. It doesn't change it, but it allows you to, the little bits that aren't covered in the PRD, allows them to, be under the ED without being spot zoning.
It's possible, there's no reason not to. But I just don't know the answer to that.
I don't know the answer either.
We can research it.
It's that spot zoning question.
I've always been told that the PRD is its separate state.
It's, right, exactly, yeah.
And then, so there's a section across from, it's not actually on this part of the section. You have this going down to the Gem and Keystone. So the general store is not included, that's non-conforming. The lane's non-conforming. And then the playhouse is not included. You're stopping before.
Not before for, first of all, it was all R1 on that, which we felt was residential. There were about 3 houses there before the general store.
2 houses before the general store and then 1 house.
So we couldn't connect it. And the other thing is, we felt that sort of, we call it a historic zone. We didn't want to have, all the commercial rules apply everywhere else apply there.
And then there's a big swath of land that's across, Shawnee and itself. It's not part of the PRD, Walmink. Really, it's on its location, really should be under the ED.
Which one is that?
It's right across from the entrance to the There's a water tower on there.
There's a water tower, right?
It's owned by the water company.
The square there, it looks like a big square. The entrance,
Yeah, exactly.
and it's
Contiguous.
It's contiguous.
I mean, that was one, obviously, been having a discussion, because that particular parcel would be beneficial being under the ED. There's not a lot that you could build on there anyway, because it's.
I was gonna say,
It's a steep slope.
It's steep, right? It's
Yeah,
good.
but there are flat parts where there's water towers.
Very possible. The only reason I didn't do it is I thought there was nothing over there anybody cared about. But it's not the PRD. So, looking at that as a possible inclusion and into, we can sort of do a underlay to the PRD.
I think it's just, if you can,
It's the interplay with the PRD.
Right. Otherwise, the map is already. I'd say the major thing it does is, in terms of, Shawnee properties, is it allows that, commercial property, the R1, commercial property historically down across from the school to be, developed anyway, sort of splits in the R1, the, ED zone, and it also gives, I think, the Shawnee Inn,
The use without coming in for conditional use, correct?
There's flood zone down there anyway.
There's both flood, there's some areas are floodways, some are floods. There's different. The island doesn't matter, but.
Yeah, the island doesn't matter, that's, nobody's gonna build out there.
the island is just part of it, we develop anything, stuff like. Oh, okay, so, anything else on the map?
No, I mean, you have my objections. Put zero in there anyway, it'd be hard to develop with. But somebody can, why not? It's, you know.
The big spot, really the school, I think that makes sense. I mean, it's been almost up for sale in the past anyway.
Give the school district. Right? Remember, this area is also in, zone, innovation zone, which means that, let's say the school became offices for tech businesses, you get, tax breaks.
I actually think the property where popcorn food used to be, how that is complicated because of its current zoning, but kind of more helpful.
I'm not worried about the school district. It'll blow their bonds anyway. It'll blow their bonding, their bond issuance.
School district, you don't have to agree with it.
No, I'm just saying, if they wouldn't sold it, it would blow their bonds, they'd have a problem. They'd have a real financing problem. We got enough financing problems in this effing district. All right, technical corrections. This I have to admit to you, Robert, I did not look at very carefully, but we talked about it the last time. Some of the, a minimal commercial use to wedge in a housing of some kind, for example.
I've included.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's one of the reasons we're trying to push this through, before some development comes along, like
Yeah.
housing development and.
Yeah, the 75% one was, that was I think a small way to do it. We talked about.
We talked about a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Where is it in here, Michael?
Number one. The 75%?
Yeah.
In the actual
Top of
document.
page 4.
Okay, I just want to see.
Applicability,
The project cannot,
2A, B, C.
applicability,
Oh, here we go.
must be located on approximately 75 contiguous acres, consist without limitation of minimum 2 uses, cannot be more than 75% of residential housing of any type.
Yeah, okay, that's the way we were talking, that's what we were talking about.
That's number one, Robert.
It's project, so I can understand, you could have like a Oxmoor style, separate buildings, you have residential and then commercial, so long as the overall development is there.
I would think so.
I would think so.
Yeah, I think it's fine, I just wanna make sure.
I do too, I think that's fine.
If the project does not say building, which
Yeah, I don't think,
that's good.
you don't necessarily wanna force them to go up if they don't have to.
As long as the whole development is mixed use.
I wanted to use project, although I didn't define it, so now the question becomes, okay, now, am I trying to be too cute by saying project, what the project means? I think.
I don't know.
Now,
It could be called development.
Robert also suggested, so you know about this 25 acre, in the mixed use one that was done for the Petrus, which says there has to be a minimum 25 acres, Robert's saying get rid of that.
That's, yeah, getting rid of it for the mixed use, but in the incentivized district, it stays.
Okay, that's what I'm saying, but in the mixed use, you wanna get rid of that.
Yeah.
Cause that's yet another amendment that
Why
has
would you
to
get
be
rid of it
made.
there?
Trying to encourage mixed use, any reasonable sized parcel. You can only have mixed use in 25.
Oh, I got you. So if you want it to be,
Then you're in the incentivized, so.
EV,
ED, it's gotta be 25, but everywhere else, you've gotta, you know.
No, the
incentivized, it's gotta be 25.
incentivized, gotcha.
Yeah.
Number one on this one. I got you.
We changed the name of the incentivized to what, the incentivized district or something, this was just confusing. You have two mixed use, one incentivized, one not.
It was the incentivized overlay district, which they're now saying it's the incentivized development option.
Okay.
Development district.
Okay. Then, my question, see some, I got a bunch of questions, sorry, okay? Chair. Is there a reason why indoor shooting range was specifically a big change compared to everything else? One that was about to pop up, or?
We unintentionally excluded it.
It was excluded, we have to have someplace where it's, have it indoor seemed to be reasonable use, especially. As long as, it didn't disturb the neighbors.
It's peace and quiet to nearby neighbors, right?
The shared entrance, exit. I'm gonna read it as, it's encouraged, but you don't really have to do it.
Tell me where you are there, Mike, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
E7, that's redlined out?
Under the applicability,
Tell me page number.
I don't have page numbers, I'm reading it in a jump doc.
Okay, I'm
Sorry.
That's okay.
Under design standards, 3, applicability, then design standards,
Okay.
number,
That was number 7, and it's now being stricken.
oh, there, 7, added.
I have it redlined out. Stricken out, it's stricken out. 7 and 8 should be stricken out.
Wait, I'm looking at it.
Number 2 is stricken, number 3 is stricken, number 7 and number 8. They're red, but they should also be redlined out.
It's not how my version looks like, okay. Okay, lastly, my last question, I know you revised manufacturing and light manufacturing. Can you remind me which is allowed and which is not allowed in the ED?
Light manufacturing is allowed, always allowed. I think we revised it because it didn't make much sense having a manufacturing district if the definition was the same. When we changed the definition of the manufacturing.
It said anything that's not light manufacturing. It says any manufacturing that is not light manufacturing is manufacturing.
It's light manufacturing.
Now, John's, associate there, I can't think of her name, help me out, senior moment.
Judy?
No, not Judy. The gal that you sent here when you're not here.
Melissa.
Melissa. Said that the regular zoning ordinance doesn't have a definition of manufacturing.
That's correct.
Is that possible?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for, I remember that.
So what should we do? Should that definition be a general zoning definition and take it out of here?
One would think, I would think that the definition of manufacturing should be maybe more robust than manufacturing that is not defined as light manufacturing. Then, what does manufacturing mean?
We didn't define light.
You can't define something with its own word in it.
That was what Melissa brought up. We thought we had dealt with it, but.
It says manufacturing is manufacturing that is not, or what?
There was some definition we have. Manufacturing, that was creating, products from,
Right, yeah, it's there, it's stricken out though. It says the mechanical or chemical transformation of materials or substances into new products, including the assembly of foreign parts and manufacturing of products.
We didn't define light materials, but light manufacturing was really fabricating.
Food production in here? Fall under manufacturing? in there for,
Like, yeah, a commercial kitchen.
our commercial kitchen. Is that defined as light manufacturing? I don't even have, that's sort of why.
I would call it light manufacturing, it's not a restaurant. Those kitchens become very popular now.
And so see, under this definition, I don't think it would fall in.
Commercial kitchens are like, jam reserves for retail, or location. It's not a restaurant kitchen.
I'm gonna get a T-shirt made up to my manufacturing.
So what's our, on this, we have one?
I don't think the manufacturing, like manufacturing definitions as revised is adequate. And I would consider, software thing, as actually doable. Commercial kitchens are kind of a rage, and they do things.
I would say anything that's a conversion from materials rather than creating, I don't know how, I have to define it, but it's something like that.
Well, maybe we can look in other.
You had a widget factory, and taking in all of the materials that you built the widget from, building it would seem like manufacturing. Making all the gears and forged them and, running in steel that you were going to have as ingots and making it so that would seem to be.
I think the issue is probably more around sound, off.
Exactly, emissions.
As opposed to, I mean, who cares if it's something new or from scraps, but it's acids and polluting and noisy, you don't want that.
We have other, I think, ordinances to cover that, but the whole idea of the. All right, we can do that.
I just look at that was one section I thought was.
Well, you could make ice cream too, right?
Correct.
That would be great.
And that's another great example of food.
That's a
Food
simple
processing.
example,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Okay. I mean, brewery production, beer production, wine production. Distillery I mean, all those things.
Packaging, and then it gets packaged.
Are all, I think, appropriate in an ED, and whether it's considered manufacturing or something else.
This, draft that you have, fix the issue brought up by,
Probably wanna have some on-site sales with it.
Yes, we.
Yeah.
They want to anyway.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, you're packaging up the ice
Give me a
cream, yes, you're
moment
packaging up the beer, but you're having on-site sales too.
I'll never forget
Sure.
that name.
He was saying that we should
Almost
eliminate
should be
the word
encouraged, to be honest with
adjacent to the definition of mixed-use development,
Kinda nice.
which was done. He also said that, residential uses are prohibited unless they're part of a mixed-use building, and that's been added in addition to mixed-use development. Wherever there was mixed-use development, I put mixed-use building, so we're covered in that regard.
Wait, can you say that again? Is that in an ED or this is in the mixed use?
That's in this ordinance. Don't ask me the difference between ED and mixed use, because I can't picture that in my head. I did a note to Doug. What's mixed use, what's economic development, and what's incentivized?
Because
I have no idea the difference between
But
those.
to your point, we were just talking about how we thought a project, it was okay to have an independent residential, so long as it was less than 25%, right? So it shouldn't just be the building, you should be allowed it on the project.
Yes.
No?
That's what we have.
You just said the opposite.
He said the opposite.
No, he said he was gonna add buildings.
Yeah, I've added building. To wherever it said mixed-use development, I've also added mixed-use building. And there was also.
Sounds like these are the diverging options. I guess my concern is, I remember Duke Snyder was under the impression that you couldn't only have one use, that you had to have two. And that's my concern.
Well, his note here that I'm looking at, this is his letter back in August, said, make sure you revise it to say only one principal use is permitted on a lot by right within the ED district, unless part of a mixed-use building, mixed-use development, or
Oh, okay.
incentivized development, so.
That makes sense. I was just questioning that because, they don't wanna turn somebody down who just wants to build a Wendy's, but isn't also building apartments.
So I think we addressed those, I believe.
I will say this, I don't agree with striking out the shared driveway parts though.
Can't hear you with your mask.
I don't agree with striking out the shared driveway and entrance parts though.
Well, we talked about it, saying, it's a rage, but a lot of planners say, you shared driveway, it's less impervious cover, you shared this, it's less earth moving, whatever, but the feeling was, that's not what you wanted to do, so.
Get it in there. You struck it out.
I know that, so. But
I want it back
The feeling
in.
was he didn't want that, he didn't want that, so.
Was there a
I don't remember why.
Why you struck it out?
Yeah.
I don't know why either. If you don't know, then let's put it back in, please.
What does it say, Scott?
It was the shared driveway this way.
If you look at page 5, number 7.
To encourage them, so we don't have, and,
Can I ask a question?
Shared
The
entrances
images in my head, you're talking about shared driveways in between, like Home Goods and Dollar Tree, or how? Is that what you're?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
that's what it is, to avoid the little side ones of the dashings in and outs and stuff,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, require single driveway?
No, it said in here, it says shared entrances and exits shall be provided where determined appropriate and feasible by the governing body. That's really what we're,
Allowed to have shared
But,
driveway.
I mean, it's not saying, you came in here with a plan. You could.
yeah, I think you would. I think you wanna push it so that they would line up too, if there's one on the other side, for
But it
example.
seems like it's saying that, but it's also saying that, not by law that you have to.
It seems to be, well, one of the arguments is when you say that it's up to the governing body to make a call, the applicant can say, you're not giving me a standard, you're not giving me a performance standard.
So what?
I know I can meet, so that this is
Oh,
that.
please, give me a break.
But, again, it's our ordinance, if someone wants to challenge it, challenge it.
Well, they submit something that doesn't have it, and then it would be then up to us to tell them.
I don't have a strong feeling one way or another.
I would like it, because I think because it avoids the clutter of multiple ins and outs, to be honest with you.
I think it's good too.
Yeah, I think
And it will kind of help, I don't know, this is something maybe Kurt's interested in, but I hope to one day tackle, fortunately, it's not an issue we deal with a lot in Smithfield, but there are so many, if you look at the other more urbanized municipalities, way too many empty parking.
Right.
Well, that's been my, since day one, is our ordinance requires so many permits.
I agree, right?
First,
We could have them if I could.
my
We
first
ran-
waiver approval.
We ran into that with East Stroudsburg Borough for the university. It's outrageous what they were requiring.
All right, some monstrous number.
Like 2 per bed or something. It's just ridiculous.
You'd have to pave over the entire town.
Well, is that something we wanna revisit while we're doing this?
Let's do that next. I'm not doing that right,
Let's
let's,
say that we have like 15 open ordinances.
I would love to
yeah.
cut the number of, just cut them all by 50%, the required, because the business, if they need them, they'll put them in.
Yeah.
They don't want
But to
to have
mandate,
problems.
but to mandate.
But to mandate it,
I would think we could.
that's an idiot, you don't want to change.
Indoor and outdoor farmers market.
It might be too late for you, Doug, on the, parking, but.
But only indoor flea market.
Yeah.
Anything else?
So we're trying to get everything ready to bring in.
Yeah, right, because we'll be back in February anyway.
As I said, the biggest process to close the hole would be,
Khan just submitted a revised sketch plan, that very thing.
Well,
Right now, we're gonna be required to give it to them.
we're doing it now is, Dr. Khan's project brought up the question. Although, I think our feeling is that where Dr. Khan's project is probably feasible. Plans are already, has been accepted to you.
This one was sketch.
No, I thought he,
Well, unless he filed, maybe this last one's a formal filing, I didn't.
I think he did.
Okay.
He would be.
Come yesterday and close the thing.
Then he's protected if it's a formal filing.
Yeah, and we would like him to be protected because it's reasonable for that particular folks. Not reasonable for the whole.
That's true. That's one that backs up to the borough right there. All right.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to.
No, it's just been tabled, okay, I'll bring it back.
No, I should have motioned to end the meeting. Oh, thank you. I was wondering why you were here.
I second it.
Unfinished business.
Was it under unfinished business?
No, it's not on there, but that's what it was.
Doug,
For public.
why are you here?
Effort to, a pretty aggressive schedule with gateways and the planning commission. This month, February, workshop sessions, regular meetings, so that those some aspects of the project.
We already did that in the work session.
I think you can. The way with the board of supervisors with our organization, I decided to limit board of supervisors meetings because we had like 5 a month that all lasted 20 minutes. No one else has proposed. I deliberately advertised as non-voting. That's the.
I'm not following what the problem is. We have a regular meeting, and if need be, we have an already predetermined work session at the end of the month. So that needs to come up.
Those are voting meetings, right?
If it's already a voting meeting and if you can vote at a workshop session, that's fine.
We vote at every meeting if we have to. Yeah.
There's a lot of townships, the work sessions are not. They're not advertised.
This is part of, we have them regularly scheduled already, Doug.
Yeah, they're already advertised.
Right?
It's an established.
We just approved it.
Yeah, it's an established setup. We already have, we don't do them on an ad hoc basis. We just don't have them if we don't have anything that's gonna need to be dealt with.
For last Thursday.
So it's the last Thursday of the month.
Is that, Stefan, last?
Last.
Important.
Yeah.
I think you might be okay for this, commission, Doug. Maybe the supervisors, you may need to be concerned with whether it's a voting meeting or not.
These guys, they're voting meeting every time they.
Yeah, every time we meet, we have.
Well, we'll have special meetings, but really with the board, we have meetings every Wednesday and, I don't wanna say nothing done, but, you do 2 or 3 things and then you would have to have 4 more meetings to make sure that you covered everything that you did, or you'd have a Tuesday meeting that you'd have to meet the next day to finish. And, so much administrative, havoc with people rushing to, get bills done. It also gives the board a cooling off period, so going forward, other than water gusts, I wanna try to have public hearings by the board of supervisors at a work session, so we can vote on recommendations that we have in text form, instead of coming up with them on the spot, things like that. That's why I tried to vote for the supervisors.
What's going on there between Hot Lot and, Dairy Queen? Is that part of you?
They're working on the installation of the large stormwater pipe.
I thought I saw that pipe behind. It's like, what is it, 4 or 5 feet across? Huge.
notices to this?
6 feet across, says it.
6 foot diameter pipe.
There's something excavating the other day.
It's gonna create a little, bedding pool as to, once it gets down to the end of a full flow, situation as to how far the water will shoot out towards the stream. We're gonna see who's gonna, how far out it'll shoot, so.
There you go. Does that go right to the mill right there?
I don't know.
Going,
Yeah, the paper mill.
paper mill? I wanted to go to, flag, look down.
Just haven't gotten there.
I just haven't.
All right. Yeah, we always vote.
Okay. That was my own.
As much as I love everybody, we don't meet just to talk. Yeah.
Patiently.
Okay. And I do move we adjourn. Well, I think Michael did it. If not, I second Michael's if that's the case. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Because